Welcome to the Sharon Fitzmaurice podcast, where we celebrate the resilience of the human spirit. We're proudly partnered with IntoTheWestAdventures.com, who have places available for their guided Camino trip from Porto to Valencia, the Portuguese coastal route from the 5th to the 12th of September. Please also check out my upcoming events, a monthly gathering in County Galway where we do Reiki healing and meditation. Everyone is welcome. I also am running an October retreat in Delphi Resort in County Galway, and Reiki training will resume again in September. Check that all out on SharonFitzmauriceMindfulness.com. And now to our guest. Deborah Jordan is the founder of Chuzeday, a platform built with a deep respect for time and freedom. After serious illness in 2019, it shifted her perspective. Deborah envisioned an app that empowers solo business owners to take control of their work-life balance. She believes business should support your life, not consume it, something I think is so important. Deborah, you're very welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm delighted. It's amazing how it takes something as serious as a diagnosis to make us shift our perspective. Can you tell us about your life before forming Tuesday, what you were doing, and tell us about your diagnosis, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Sharon. Well, I can go back as far as I can go back quite a bit, even to a young person where I was always in the care mode. So I would have been looking after my dad at a young age. He would have had brain cancer or a brain tumor. So I do feel that wellness was always in my background growing up and really brought me into the wellness of the hair industry where I'm third generation hairdresser. But it it was quite a journey from, I guess, looking after my dad. Then I went into, I guess, really a service industry where you're continuing to mind people.
Hmm.
So that and education was where I blossomed and I loved it. So when I opened up the quite large salon then back in 2008, 17 it was, I think. It really had me excited. It was all about well-being. I brought the best to my clients, and it was about focusing on not just the beauty end of it, but the mindset, the ability to switch off when you walk in the door. And I really did focus on that, that education, my clients. So all around I have huge tacit knowledge of being in business, but also minding people and educating people. So yeah, there was a lot. And then I had two young boys as well at the time, before my diagnosis when I had the big salon. And yeah, they were a joy. And I find that you are always looking after the people around you when you run a business. And as a woman, you tend to wear even more hats, I think. So yeah, that's where I was.
Mm. Um, it's amazing, when you say that as a woman, and we're not being sexist, but I think as
No,
a
not at
woman,
all.
we do tend to multitask, and sometimes people take pride in it. Well, I was doing this, this, and this, and this, and I was on the phone, and I was holding the child, and I was making the dinner, and we're like, we shouldn't be proud to do all of those things at the same time. It's again, I suppose, a programming, isn't it, that we learn that or we believe we need to do all of these things at once and that we get pushed kind of to the background.
Yeah.
And again, as a young person caring for your dad, who had brain cancer, that's extremely hard, when you almost become the parent, isn't it? When you become the carer for somebody that, was big and strong, and then you ended up looking after them. What effect did that have on you, Deborah?
Well, I think it had a massive effect on me. I really feel that we missed out on many things, but it also made our family very strong and resilient, and we were very close. We would really, the 80s wasn't an easy time either. So you can imagine it was quite tough. And my mom is a huge figure in my life today where, she takes negativity and just brings it to another level of positivity. And I think that has been, my outlook. She has molded me to that. And that's a huge influence on my life, I guess. But yeah, look, it just makes you resilient. You just get up and get on with it the old way maybe, and you make your own luck.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I suppose you get used to it as well, don't you? When it's in your family environment, you just take it as this is just the way it is. And it's not until you kind of look back and you realize, God, how did I do that? Or how did I get through that? Or how did I manage emotionally, as a younger person doing that? But as you said, it gave you a foundation for being able to step up and to have that resilience within you and that strength to carry on. And I will tell you, because we need it as business owners and as parents, because there's so many factors to a business. And for you, which is a beautiful thing to hear, that it was all about making the clients feel special and focusing your attention on them when they were in for that day, coming into you. And that's one of the things that I always say to anybody that I'm mentoring is whatever's going on in your life, when your client comes in that day, it is all about them. You're not sharing your woes with them. They have enough of their own. They want to come in and feel like they're being looked after and they're kind of not the most important person, but they are, because if they're with you, they want your full attention. And that's something I think business owners have to realize more and more. The customers are the ones that pay your bills at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
So having that big salon then and being a third generation hairstylist, did you find that enjoyable or was it stressful? And you also having two young boys at the time as well. How did you manage your life, your business? Because you're talking now about a work-life business. Were
Yeah.
you even aware of the imbalance, I should say, in your salon at the time?
No, well, for me, my passion was hair. Eat, breathe, sleep, repeat, very much so. And I can say that, you give 100%, but you do find that you are dropping the balls on other things. And my husband is massively supportive and he has guided me on so many things throughout that business. And I guess with my own two boys, they were having difficulties and, I suppose with small kids as well. And when you are so diligent in your work, you're doing your best to bring your kids along the right journey as well. Um, yeah, I think I got to a point where I felt, you know what, I have to step back. We wanted to actually move back home to Wexford, so we just made the decision to move home and have more support at home, and it was the right decision for us at the time. But unbeknownst to myself, I actually was sick at the time, so a lot of these factors then came to light after. So yeah.
Mm. So tell me about that, being diagnosed. What is it that made you go and get a check? Or, was it something that you were putting off?
Um, I had an awful lot of tiredness, which I put down to the move home and having to, like, they were 6 and 9 at the time, and very active kids. We have a neuro different house, I would say. So we had lots of challenges just even in with the lads, with the boys. Um, for me, I think it was, and this is interesting because I've had this conversation with a few ladies. When you have, say, IBS or anything underlying like that, what I had was ovarian cancer and actually can get hidden in the symptoms of IBS. So for me, I was under an awful lot of pressure in my lower stomach area and the tiredness. And I just went to the doctor and I just had a chat and it just went 100 miles an hour after that when between blood tests and things like that. So I would be really pushing women to go out and check their bloods once a year even. I don't think we're really monitored very well for, especially like I was 43 at the time.
Mm.
And ovarian cancer isn't something that is you are really looking for. Maybe, you're thinking you might have dietary issues, which I've always had throughout my life. So I really it wasn't at my top of my list at all. So it had quite a profound effect. But it did take quite a few years to kind of, as I'm the type that I will paddle and then it's after I will look back and then go, then I react after,
Mm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, I
Mm.
suppose it's again maybe what you had learned, that we just get on with it. You have that resilience and strength to get through that struggle, and say, I'll deal with it later, but for right now I have to do this, this, and this. And you
Yeah.
have a family and you have a business and you have all of those things also. What was the hardest thing for you, though, as just for yourself, when you were diagnosed? Was it telling others? Was it?
Telling my kids, uh, I think once I found out I knew I was going to lose my hair, I think that had a profound effect. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And again, being the hair, the hair queen, and it is your crowning glory, as it is for many women, and your children even seeing you differently. Were they?
Definitely that part. Yeah. The
Yeah,
boy seeing me without hair was, yeah, that was hard.
yeah, yeah. So how did you cope with that, Deborah? Because it is, very emotional, and especially, people say it's hard when I'm doing it by myself, but when we have family and telling our family, because we're then almost supporting their emotional needs also,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't walk that journey for you. They can be walk alongside of it. But even to tell them and how they react or respond to the diagnosis, how was that?
Um, I think I think some of it, to be honest with you, a lot of it I've probably blocked out. Um, but I kept going. I really just did focus on the family when I was going through it. I did, I'm quite creative, so I was probably painting or I was always known for painting something in the house. If you stood still long enough, I'd wallpaper you. I love the interior side of it. So I did focus on other things. I did do a bit of research on, I guess, the cancer and little things that, what I had, it brings you straight into, it's known as a chemical menopause. So your body reacts very different than a natural menopause. So I was learning all about that. I had a few friends who were going through it at the time as well, and I was reaching out and giving them a bit of, some tips on what to, make you sleep better at night, meditation, all these things for the well-being of a woman going through any kind of surgery or anything to do with the, I guess, hysterectomy or any of those things.
Mm.
Um, so that's where I just focused on cooking. I love that. Like I keep busy. That would be
Mhm.
me anyway. I'm always doing something. I don't sit down for long. So I think in between the chemo, that's when I would stay in the bed for a while and had Netflix and stuff like that. And I'd write journals and yeah, I did all that.
Good.
Just
You were taking time for yourself, even though you were, sleeping a lot and writing journals. It was still time for you to process what was going on for you, which is one of the things I would say is really important because people focus sometimes on just the treatment itself and what they have to do next and, how everyone else is feeling. But part of our recovery or part of our well-being is taking that time to say the body is going through a lot and I am going through a lot. So I
yeah.
need to look after me and I need to nourish my body whatever way it needs right now. Well, you're
Yeah.
the picture of health now, Deborah. How is your health and well-being now?
Yeah, I'm really good. So last week or the week before I was given I don't like to say, they're just very happy with me to kind of sign me off from the team. So that's 6 years later and I'm beyond grateful. And I I appreciate every day I get up. I yeah, and the fact that I am busy, you know, I just I'm very appreciative.
Yeah.
There's no word that I can describe it. I say to people, I won the life lotto because I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
did. Another few weeks and I probably wouldn't be here. So
Yeah. And you know what? That is a huge thing to reflect on, isn't it? That I always say it's like being given, because I know from my husband John, when he was diagnosed, and my mother, it's like they were giving a second opportunity to live their life the way they wanted to.
yeah,
And again, as I said at the start, we shouldn't be given a diagnosis to change our perspective on our lives and what we'd like to do. But sometimes things like that happen to ourselves or someone we love or care about. It does make us look differently at where we are, what's of value in my life, and where I want to actually give my time and energy. Is it something I like doing? Am I passionate about it? Or am I just floating along, waiting for my holidays and waiting for my days off? Again, that can be existing, and people may be happy to do that. But I think when you reflect on your own journey, Deborah, and you see the importance of it and your children wanting their mom, you know, to be well and not knowing what all of that meant for them, there's a
yeah.
huge amount going on, isn't there? So you change your whole perspective because of that. And
Yes.
tell us about then the idea or how the inspiration came for Tuesday.
Well, as you know, I spent a lot of time in recovery and it really allowed me think of how I didn't use my own time properly when I was running the bigger business. So when I downsized to a one-man band, Sharon, I just felt that I could do it better, and my time was now of high value and importance to me. And I sat down one day and wrote out all the things that would make my business work for me without which I was spending 8 to 10 hours a week DMing, texting, emailing people for appointments, and I just put my kids to bed at night. You get calls late. it just I'd had the big tools in the big salon and now I didn't have them. And I was like, there has to be something here. So I did my homework and it just to me really shouted out that individuals in business are kind of lost and we're very much still in the old style of, managing a business. So I sat down with a team and I went through what I was looking for, and that's Tuesday was born from that. So it's
Mm.
choice, choose how you work.
Yeah, I
It
love
gives
the name of it. Yeah.
people, yeah, it gives people the choice to work whenever, wherever, or however they want.
Yeah.
As easy as you can make, I guess, for people who are non-technical, because I'm not techie.
I
So
love that you said that.
that was really important. I am so not techie. I also have baby brain, chemo brain, menopause brain. And I just said, please make this as easy as possible. So that was the aim, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And a really important support for solo business owners
Yeah.
because, as you said, we try to manage everything. We're still at the end of a phone line for people a lot of the times, and it does take up a lot of your schedule. And developing this app, which again, the name is Tuesday, Chuzeday. I love it. So you're working with business analysts, marketing professionals, software developers, and experienced entrepreneurs. I
Yeah.
love all of that because you're getting it from all of the angles that sometimes you might have somebody that's really good at, the marketing side of it, but they're not sure how they should market their business or what their analytics should look like each month and are they actually valuing their time, all of those things. So everything you've put together is really what every business owner need support with. So just give us an example. So if somebody rings you up and we'll say a salon owner, because that's what you were starting from. If they're a salon owner and or holistic practitioner and they'll say, well, it's just me, I'm out in the middle of the country, or I'm a salon, I've just like you moved away from the big salon, I'm here on my own now. I have to make a living from it. but it's in a little room in my house,
Yeah.
and I want to be there for my clients, but it takes a lot of time and I'm the only one doing the hair and the styling, or I'm the only one with the client. What would you advise them, or how would you start that conversation to support them?
Well, what I like to do is have a little discovery call with them because not every business is going to work well, it's not for every business really. So the people that I'm aimed at are those individuals, hair, consultancy, wellness, anyone who I guess wants to manage a book very well, wants to save their time, wants to have financial security, and wants to have an online presence. We do that. That's what Chuzeday does. So it just gives people, balance, flexibility. I like to do a lot of the educational stuff as well. Say people who they're in business or starting a new business, and I fast track them. So I give them all my knowledge of things, recommendations of how to do, even the last reel I did was how to say no in business, because that for me was really powerful to understand that when you have boundaries in place, that was huge. And if you're new to business, you're not going to always know these things. Yes, it's a learning curve. So I'm trying to fast track the learning curve a bit. And that will help massively. And there's an awful lot to add to Chuzeday, or sorry, an awful lot that Chuzeday is going to add to their business. And for me, at the moment, I am doing calls and meeting people online and see if Chuzeday will be for them, will work for them,
Mm.
and go through their needs as a business. So
Yeah.
that's for me, that's exciting, getting to meet the businesses, but also letting them know that this is not just an app, this is a community. We're building a community so that they're not all on their own. And I found that was the hardest part. You feel isolated. Yes, your phone is going, you can't afford a receptionist, you can't always afford the full website. And the costs of payments with the machines are really expensive. And we came across some freemiums, they were lots of hidden charges. So we're trying to cut out all of that. And we just want to grow a community, local communities. We want people to be able to, have their business in, say, in where are we now? So say in from Rathgar to Rathmines, or anywhere that's small, people can recommend each other, people can grow, they can be in touch with someone in New York online. This is something that I see as growing communities wherever they are. They can
Mm.
have their businesses anywhere.
I love that. So the app is not just I have the app for my business and it's just me and my clients, but the app is a community where other businesses can recommend other businesses that are on your app,
Yeah,
or they can, clients of your business could look up Mary's business in Dublin
yeah,
and see what that's about because she's moving up to Dublin and
exactly.
that is amazing.
The idea is to grow with that, say if someone in Dublin is down in Rosslare for the weekend and they put their back out, that they can go and find a local chiropractor or a physio, or um and I think so many of us have been running off the diary and the phone for so long that, we're not going to be found that way. Yes, you can have a presence on Google, and that's, definitely. But if you have your own QR code that you can put on the side of your car, that people will just bring you straight to your web page, that's really powerful, I feel, when you're on your own. It
Mm.
does an awful lot. And we've lots of exciting, bits in the pipeline that are coming up as well. So we're just growing her now and letting people know about it.
Yeah, it sounds really good, Deborah, and you can hear the passion for it in it. And
Yeah,
that's what I was asking you, that this could develop even more, which is amazing. And I think that's again like any business, they start off and they have the essentials.
yeah,
And then as you get to know your business and again valuing your time, your work-life balance, all of that, your boundaries, which I loved, and I saw that video reel that you did. And I said, yes, I had to learn. I learned that a long time ago, the hard way, like
yeah,
most of us in business. And what you said, and I know there's many business owners that listen to this podcast, and it's always the same thing, well, I need to be there for my customer or my client because, there's other people out there. And I'm going, but they're not you. If
Yeah.
your client or your customer has chosen you, they've chosen you for a reason, and they will respect your boundaries and they will value your time also because you're
Mhm.
giving them good value when you
Yeah.
are with them and you are focused and your attention is totally with them. So again, we have to remember to put value on ourselves.
Yes. 100%. Yes. And
Mm,
I find that, if people aren't going to like, your boundaries, then they're, as I say, they're not for you.
yeah, yeah.
So, and that's important because we do get burnout from trying to please everyone, and it's tough being in business. So why not make it easier?
Oh my
Save
God.
time.
Absolutely. Anything that makes it easier. So obviously I'm in business now for over 17 years and I'm smiling because there was absolutely no apps or, even the internet. I wasn't really au fait with it. I'm not even sure if I had a mobile phone at the time. I probably did, but one of those builders phone as they called them,
Yeah.
Deborah. And everything was through word of mouth and through recommendation, which was amazing
Oh
because
yeah,
that's
and
all I
still
knew.
very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I loved it. And then I suppose when social media did come, there was that pressure that business owners should be putting themselves on it and what to put on it and all of those things. And I used to laugh sometimes going, I'm not sure what I want to put on it, but I know if I put myself on it, then I know what I want to say. And
Yeah.
they're going, because I am my business.
Yeah.
So
100%.
again, it's like you showing up on social media for Tuesday. You are the face of Tuesday. You are the business, and you're telling people why you started, why you want to help support others. And that's where they gain the trust, is in the person. And for me, we can have all the fancy, Canva and all these pictures and everything, which are great. I use them myself.
Same. Yeah.
But people want to see you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's one thing I do find is as an individual, self-promotion can be very difficult when it's you doing it all.
Yeah.
So I've decided, well, I've started going out and putting out newsletters now for the businesses that are joining us. So our community grows because we're not all naturally good at standing up and saying, and this is what I do, and come
Yeah.
to my business. It can be really intimidating, but it's all about growth. It's you want to grow your business, that's fine. You don't have to be the best social media person in the world, but it's about growing.
Yeah. And it's part of our own personal development as well, though. I say we grow professionally when we grow personally because we're learning what we want in life now. And that comes from lived experience too, doesn't it, Deborah? It comes from knowing your worth and your value and saying, well, this is what I want to be passionate about now. This is my purpose going forward. In my work life, we may have a different one in our personal life. But I think when you're a solo business owner, they do blend together because there's so many aspects of you in your business, isn't there?
There really is, yeah. And I'm a believer of, you leave your home at the door because that was always the way when you're working hard in an environment, when it's a bigger environment. But when you're on your own, like, and I know over the years, I'm sure I've self-counseled myself with my own clients, but um yeah, I'm very grateful to have all that. I do I do think being an individual is actually more powerful because the people that you meet, the relationships that you have, or the friendships that you build is very powerful. And it's definitely made me who I am today. And I would be quite open verbally with people. I listen, you counsel, you do all of it, but I love having the chats. I love being able to talk with people, and it's great to get two-way information. And people, we're very, especially during COVID, when I think about it, I really miss the physical aspect of the hugs and, the welcomes when you see your clients walk in the door and the smiles. That was very powerful to have back. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it is, and I think there's so many things that I suppose with your diagnosis with COVID, all of those things were a learning curve for you. But one, thankfully, that has brought you out to be well and happy and to have created this amazing app, this platform now that can help other solo business owners, and not just, to help support them in their business, but to create and connect with a community of other business owners, and also, receiving recommendations for clients and all of those things and referrals. That is really good because, it made me think one of the things that I value the most, Deborah, in life is connection,
Mm.
community. And we don't have to just talk about our community within where we live, that we can form community online. We can form community with different, companies we work with different groups, everything like that. For me, I have loads of communities in my life. And like you, I'm very grateful to have all of those communities, and being part of something is a community, whether we call whatever we call it in business or in our everyday life, it is a community and it is about the connection. And as I said, I know that you're working with Samantha, and Samantha connected us because she is a great connector. And I always say that about Samantha Kelly when she created Social Media Fest, just like you, she did something to connect business owners together so that they could learn from each other and support each other. And one of the most valuable things I love about your app and the way you have created this community is that everyone is there to support each other, even if it's the same type of business. That if,
Yes,
isn't that true? If we don't
yes.
support each other,
Oh, we're at nothing. Yeah,
yeah,
hugely. I'm very passionate about that. I'm a believer in, if I was ever to run out of any products that I could run next door and, you could borrow off each other. I mean, why wouldn't you? And that's the strength of community. And, you know, that's my, I guess, my background, where you expect everyone else to be the same. So I think the whole idea with Tuesday is really for the small businesses to know that everyone has each other's back, or that they can say, oh, I'm here today because, Mary down the road has recommended you. I mean, that's such goodwill. And that's how I feel, that's how business should be.
mm,
And if I can do that with Tuesday, I would be so, so happy. It's something that maybe the times that we're living in, Sharon, are very changeable. And, a lot of people have closed businesses, gone down working out on their own, gone back to college, have learned something, and now they want to set up a business. Whatever that area is, it's Tuesday, I would like to think, is the platform that people will go to set up something that can be very, very special. And even it can be side hustle. It doesn't have to be, a big banging business. Growth is totally up to them. I think people have this fear that, I'm going to have a business. Oh my God, I'm going to have to work so hard. The beauty of this is if you want to work 10 hours or 50 hours, it's up to you. That's the beauty of it.
I love that. So again, it's not about the size of your business or how many clients you have. It's always just valuing yourself, but
Yeah.
knowing I need support. I need this app and community to help support me so I don't have to carry it on my own, which is amazing. Because again, all of it, it just sounds like something, and I know so many businesses, I have trained so many people, and that I know they could benefit from that, because there's part of it that they're like, oh, what do I do? And I have to be able to answer the phone to my client. And I said, no, we all got caught in that trap at 11 o'clock at night, and people
Yes.
ringing you and feeling like you had to, and there was no boundaries there, and there was no switching off. So again, balance is a necessity, and that's something you wrote in your blog, finding strength in the struggle, which I love that you write your blogs, that you are giving tips to business owners, whether they're big or small, starting out or being in it for a long time as well. So that's something that is available on your website for anybody to check out. Your website is Chuzeday.com. So again, it's Chuzeday.com.
Mhm.
There's also a free ebook gift with insightful tips on how to make your business work for you. And I think everybody should avail of free ebooks because you always learn something from it. You might think, ah, sure, I know everything. We don't. I'm always saying every time I sit in this chair with a guest, I'm learning something else, from them. So the power is listening to other people in business and saying, how could I use that? That's really insightful. I could use that in my business today. Or maybe I could contact Deborah and say, okay, well, this is my business. How can Tuesday support me? Because this is what I want in my life and my work,
Yeah.
and you will be able to help them make that work in the balance, which is great. So where else am I going to go here with you? So in the app, there's the web page, dashboard, bookings, calendar, invoice, inventory, payments, and vouchers. There's a huge amount in it.
It's huge. I'm very ambitious.
Love it.
But again, it's back to what we need. And some people will need, maybe just the basics of it. Some people might need the whole dashboard. But we've just brought on not just one-to-one bookings now. We now have, if someone wants to do group bookings. So I have a lady she's Pilates, she's massage, and she does Pilates, and she can do her one-to-ones with her massage, and then she can do her group bookings then with her in the local community hall, which is fantastic because she has all the local ladies in and 6 o'clock in the morning. And I mean, that's so powerful to know that there's someone there who does that service on their
Yeah. That is brilliant. Now, I know a lot of the things when people are solopreneurs, and it's something people don't like to talk about or ask, but I ask straight out on the podcast. So people are solopreneurs or solo small business owners, and they go, but I wouldn't be able to afford something like that. That's only for people that have bigger businesses or their clients are paying a lot of money to them. I wouldn't be able to afford that. And the fear then of that stops them contacting you. So, what can you say about the financial aspect of Tuesday as a support system for them?
It's really up to them what they want to spend. It's a bit like Netflix. Like you can go on and you can have a side hustle if you're starting off. You can have we call it the standard business, which is I think up to like 40 hours. And then you have the bigger, your gangbusters, your 9 hours, 5 days a week. You can go in and choose. And again, that's the power of it.
Mm,
We don't have any hidden costs, and which is very important because that's the problem with a lot of the other businesses. What I hate is when, your business is being advertised to someone else down the road because that company is making money out of it. And that for me is not growth. That I had an issue with that.
mm.
And then that was another reason for Tuesday to be, more about, growing it than pulling it apart. So, yeah, that's my thought on that.
Lovely. So again, it is financially viable for everyone and anyone because there's different options, different
Yes.
plans that they can work on. And again, if they start off on a very standard plan and their business develops and they want to upgrade, they can do that as well. But I think the best thing for people to do is to go and check out your website first of all.
Yeah.
Okay, because you've explained yourself and the reason for setting up the business and what the Tuesday app can support people with. But not only that, it's a community for growth, connection, and referral, which is, I love that. That is, to me, a seller already. So, with that, then, if they check out your website, they look
Mhm.
at the free ebook and they look at all of the recommendations, testimonials from other clients that are using Tuesday and
Yeah.
from working with you. I would say the next step is to book a discovery call with you. And you know what? Be like us. Just say, I don't really know what I need. but this is what I would like. How could this work for me? And is it cost effective because I'm doing this on my own? Ask the straight out questions. When people are saying, "Oh, I don't want to ask, I'm too embarrassed, or I mightn't be able to, understand what they're talking about." I'd say just keep everything simple. Ask the questions that you need the answers for, and then you'll get the answers.
Yes, yes. And believe you me, I've met so many lovely individual business owners, and that's we just sit and we chat and we just go through it. And anyone that's come across it really love it, and which has me excited because then there's something actually going to come from this. So yeah, discovery call will be perfect. And that's all booked on the website as well.
Brilliant. Deborah, thank you so much
Thank
for.
you, Sharon.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was lovely getting to know you. And thank you again, as I said, for sharing so honestly about your own personal journey. But because of that journey, it has led you to develop something really special to support other solo business owners. So I applaud you, Deborah. Well done.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
You're very welcome. So, Deborah Jordan, everybody, check out Chuzeday.com, Chuzeday.com. Please go over and follow and support Deborah on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook also. And if you are listening to this podcast and you'll go, yeah, I could use that, but I absolutely know one or two friends or business owners that would really, really benefit from a discovery call with Deborah or looking up this app. Please share this podcast because one of the things I always say, the reason I started the podcast was to share information and knowledge. I don't have it all. Deborah doesn't have it all, but we know some things that can help support you. That's why I have these guests because they're sharing invaluable information freely with you and giving you support systems that can help you in your business. So please share the information with your friends, business owners around your area, put it up on your social media, put it up in your newsletter with your groups, wherever it is, your email list, and let your friends know that you've listened to this and you think it might help support them in their business. Because if we don't have the information or we're not aware of it, we can't do anything. So if we have the information, then we get to choose what would be best for our business. So I love the name of it. And Deborah, I wish you every good health and every success with Tuesday. And I will be watching its growth and development in the years to come. I think it's amazing. Well done.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So thank you to all of you for listening. As I said, please subscribe on YouTube to the Sharon Fitzmaurice podcast. Follow me on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please check out Deborah Jordan Tuesday on social media, LinkedIn, and check out her website, Chuzeday.com. Until next time, take care of you.